makakausap mo yung mga survivors ng tsunami, yung mga stories nila, yan mga bata pa sila, na ganito yung itsura ng aftermath, ganito yung mga sounds na narinig nila. Kasi nangyari to madaling araw almost midnight. So, kaya hindi for them, mahirap ding makalimutan yung experience. Especially, it's relatively fresh, 1970s. So, kaya nare-recall talaga nila ano yung nangyayari sa household nila when the earthquake was happening.
Magandang araw mga kapwa siyentista. Welcome back sa BTS, ang Behind the Science podcast, kung saan kinakausap natin or nakikipagtsikahan tayo sa mga leading scientists natin from the UP College of Science, UP Diliman. And this podcast is of course presented by yours truly, the Marine and Earth Science Learning Hub, and co-presented by the UP Diliman College of Science. So, ang ating guest for today, she is currently the OIC-Director of UP Diliman National Institute for Geological Sciences. Yan. She got her Bachelor of Science in Geology and Master of Science in Geology in UP Diliman. And she got her Doctor of Science degree in Earth and Planetary Science from Kyoto University in Japan. So without any further ado, let's all welcome Dr. Noelynna T. Ramos, or we can call her Doc Jenny or Ma'am Jenny. Hello po, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Keith, and thank you for having me dito sa Behind the Science program ninyo.
Ayun, ma'am. So, yung atin pong podcast is actually to give our listeners an overview, listeners or viewers, since we're doing this in video platform then, an insight on how we do our science po. So, for today, ifo-focus po natin yung paper po ninyo regarding our topic, which is recording po ng past tsunami events. So, but before we go there, let's talk about you, ma'am. Let's go back in time. Ayan. So,
Yes.
Let's go
Kasi
to the
past
young.
tsunamis so kailangan kasama ako. Past, history ko din.
Oo, ma'am. Ayun, so let's go back to the young and curious you, the undergrad, Ma'am Jenny. So, when did you realize po that you would want to work in the science sector?
Okay. So, well, my interest in geology really developed during my undergrad years. Kasi before entering the BS Geology program, I really can't remember that magical moment na, oh, gusto ko ng earth science or something like that when I was in grade school or high school. So, actually, even entering the BS Geology program was influenced by my dad. So, talaga, when I entered the program, parang medyo clueless din talaga ako. But I really learned to love the field, and particularly when I was exposed, or when we were exposed as students to several field activities. That's really when I decided na this field is really worth pursuing further. And then until yan, all the way from BS to MS, all the way to PhD, ay talaga, geology talaga yung gusto ko.
So, medyo may factor din po yung family ninyo. So,
At least for the for selecting the program. Yeah. But yung realization na ito talaga yung field na gusto ko, it really developed when I was in undergrad. So I was exposed to my mentors, yung research activities ng mga mentors ko, and then with colleagues, yung mga fellow students as well. So aming field work. So yun talaga.
ayun. So, since medyo wala akong idea, ma'am, kwentuhan niyo naman kami, ma'am, regarding dun sa experiences niyo in field kasi ibang fields din po kasi. So, para may idea, ano ba nangyayari? Anong fini-field work po natin sa geology, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Good question. O nga naman. So kapag nag-field work, I mean, yung work talaga, so yung basic, almost basic na ginagawa ng isang geologist ay, of course, um, lalapit siya sa mga bato, lalapit siya sa mga exposures ng mga bato dyan, and then kukuha siya ng samples, and then dun sa rock sample na yun, there can be various methods that can be applied para makakuha ka ng information dun sa mga samples na yun. So, pwede yung fossils, pwede yung minerals niya, ano yung laman ng bato, ano yung chemistry na nandun sa bato, and then, yung interesting din for me is paano napunta yung bato doon. Yan. So, yung mga processes. So, I'm really into the processes, yung mga tectonic processes, yung mga surface processes. So, bakit natin nakikita yung bato na yan na dati, for example, ay alam natin na sa marine environment lang siya na-form, pero ngayon nakikita natin siya sa surface. Yun. So, that's the geological field work. Now, what's more challenging for students and geologists ay yung mga fieldwork conditions. So, yun yung nakakadagdag sa excitement din when doing fieldwork. So, by conditions, pwedeng mga living conditions ninyo, yung access sa terrain, which can be very challenging. So, tatawid ng ilog, akit ng bundok, papasok ng kuweba, yun, yung mga ganong bagay. Yeah.
And I think, ma'am, that sums it up. Yung ano pa lang, yung way nyo kung paano nyo dinescribe yung field work is actually parang gustong-gusto nyo talaga yung ginagawa niya and very passionate kayo.
Well, I hope so.
And ayun, so kung meron tayong nakikinig dito ng mga senior high students, if you're up for the adventure and the exploring our earth sciences and yung mga kuweba, pag-akit ng bundok, ayan, apply kayo sa UPD Mix. So, nabanggit na rin naman natin,
Welcome
ma'am.
na welcome kayo.
So, yun po. So, nabanggit na rin naman po natin ang mga fieldwork. Itong fieldwork ng study naman ninyo, ma'am, ang ating pagpokusan. So, yung study po ninyo was entitled The Sedimentological Evidence of Washover Deposits from Extreme Wave Events in Zamboanga del Sur, Mindanao, Southern Philippines. Punta na tayo dun sa segment natin, ma'am. Na kwento mo yan. So this is all about the paper itself.
All right.
How would you explain your paper in one sentence?
Oh, okay. So, all right. Let me go back to how I remember the paper. So, okay. One sentence. Walang limit sa words, ah.
Wala, ma'am. Wala po.
Ayan. So, all right. So, this study on the washover sediments in Western Mindanao, um, characterizes the tsunami deposits of the 1976 Moro Gulf tsunami for the first time. So I hope isang sentence naman siguro yun.
Okay, ma'am. So by itself, may tsunami. So very Intriguing. So with that,
Mhm.
ma'am, ano yung nagbigay sa inyo ng idea to do this research?
Uh, well, yung current na interest namin, I mean, I'm speaking for the group of students that I work with. It took a long process. When I came back to NIGS, ay hindi naman yan agad yung focus ng research. So what I mean by it took a long process kasi um ayan, we had several ano din, mga failures din in terms of finding sources of funding, and then eventually we got lucky, and then doon nag-continue yung pag-aaral namin. Or at least I think at this stage we are still at the exploration of these tsunami deposits in the Philippines. So that's why um, if you remember yung one sentence to describe the paper kanina, there is an emphasis on for the first time. Okay? Kasi with so many tsunamis that have occurred sa Philippines, uh, wala pa talagang nagdo-document or nag-analyze in detail kung ano nga ba, meron nga ba tayong mga tsunami deposits or naubos na sila because of the so many weather disturbances that we have. So really this paper is we are really proud of this paper kasi yun nga for the first time is that we were able to document this particular tsunami, and this is not a regular tsunami. It's actually the most damaging tsunami in the Philippines, at least in recent history, in since the 1900s. So yun yung 1976 Moro Gulf tsunami. So yung idea to do this kind of research, actually it started pa when I was doing my PhD. So when I was exploring potential research topics for my dissertation, so nag-pop up na yan. Oh, okay kaya to mag-explore ako ng tsunami deposits. But also considering the expertise ng aking professor at that time. So ano siya, ang interest niya is on coastal geology, coastal geomorphology. So kaya nag-focus kami dun sa ano yung mga pwedeng i-explore pagdating sa coastal geology that we can relate to hazards. So doon pa lang nagsimula lumabas na yung idea, and then I went from Japan, I went back to the Philippines, and then I tried exploring sites for these tsunami deposits, but then I realized na I only had the limited time, I had limited resources, I didn't have the manpower to do detailed tsunami work. So kaya napunta ako dun sa isang field pa rin na hanggang ngayon ay ginagawa ko, which is on coastal geomorphology. So all these are related to tectonic hazards or earthquake hazards in particular. So
Hmm.
yun yung ah, kwento. Paano kami napunta sa pag-aaral ng tsunami deposits.
Oh. Ay, ma'am, nabanggit niyo pala kanina yung main lugar or yung area kung saan niyo kinuha yung samples ninyo for this particular study. Sabi niyo, one of the most destructive current na earthquakes. So, by destructive, ma'am, ano yung details nitong earthquake na to?
So yung 1976 Moro Gulf earthquake had a magnitude of 8.1. So dun sa scale natin or yung measure natin ng mga earthquakes, that's actually very very strong. It's considered a major earthquake yung ganong magnitude. And then although not all major earthquakes, or meaning hindi lahat ng earthquakes na may matataas na magnitude, they lead to destruction or they lead to damage. It still depends on so many factors. But for this one, yung 1976 Moro Gulf, malakas na siya na earthquake. It produced a tsunami, a huge tsunami, and it inundated, it flooded the coastal communities of Western Mindanao. And one of those most affected communities or cities is Pagadian. So that's why we focused our study there. So that is one consideration then when doing tsunami work or yung tong tsunami study kasi since ini-explore namin siya, it's a hit or miss eh. So pwedeng pwedeng may makita kami, pwedeng wala kaming makita. So to be sure, so kailangan unahin natin yung mga areas na sure tayo na nagkaroon ng tsunami, sure tayo na yung tsunami na yon umabot siya sa inland, and then we can explore further. So yun yung naging strategy namin when we did when we started the tsunami deposits work yan sa Pagadian.
Oo nga, ma'am. Parang siyempre with the Philippines being an archipelago, surrounded tayo ng tubig, and of course, we are in a very tectonic or tectonically active region. So,
Right, that's right.
hindi hindi maiiwasan, ma'am, na meron talaga tayong mga ganitong occurrences na medyo malakas or malaki yung impact on the Filipino people. So, nabanggit niyo kanina, ma'am, you had difficulty with your funding. So, with that, ma'am, paano kayo nakahanap ng funding in general for your research?
Well, difficulty meaning if magko-compete ka kasi with other fields, 'di ba? So
Opo.
pag narinig kasi geology, yung bato, yung mga ganun. So hindi siya ganun ka-attractive, no? But kaya sinabi ko we were lucky kasi nga we are dealing with hazards. So pag related kasi sa geological hazards or any type of hazard, mas ano siya, mas relatable siya, I guess. So kaya na-push din eventually na makakuha kami ng funding. So yung first funding source talaga namin was the DOST through the National Research Council of the Philippines. So actually, itong paper na pinag-uusapan natin is a product of that funding opportunity. And then, siguro yung challenge namin when we did that research was that it was only for a year. So
Mhm.
imagine you have to deliver in 1 year. And then nagka-problema din with may mga administrative challenges din when we were doing the research. But we got past those, and yun nga masigasig din yung aking mga estudyante and yung researcher in particular na nag-focus talaga dito sa study na to, si Miss Sheena Claro. So she was my former student and research associate din. So yun yung mga ganong challenges in terms of funding. And then so yung NRCP funding kasi was good for a year, and we know na hindi enough yung 1 year to deliver the outputs, or may ma-deliver ka but you feel na kulang yung time, okay? So we tried seeking other opportunities for funding. So yung failed proposal namin was actually under the JSPS program. So it's also under DOST. Tapos, and then, try lang ulit. So, the DOST suggested na, i-submit nyo na lang to as a regular research project. So, yun. Fortunately, ay napondohan yung ganitong klaseng research for 3 years naman. Yeah. So, until now, while tapos na yung funding, uh, continuous pa rin yung mga research activities namin related to tsunami deposits.
Ayun. Ang galing lang, ma'am, kasi parang 3 years. That's a lot can be done na in 3 years compared to 1 year, di ba, ma'am?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
ah ah aside from NRCP, ma'am, nabanggit niyo na parang may iba pa kayong pinag-submitan na nag-fail yung submission, tama po ba?
Yes, so that was under DOST pa din siya. Pero yung DOST kasi marami siyang ano marami siyang ah, kumbaga parang divisions na pwede kang mag-submit ng proposal. So yung following the NRCP proposal, so sinubmit namin siya under the JSPS program. It's Japan Society for the Promotion of Science. Kasi um, gusto naming i-continue yung research kasi nakakakuha na rin kami ng insights and skills from our collaborators. So that time, I did a research fellowship at the University of Tokyo. So I was able to build this network then of tsunami scientists sa University of Tokyo. Kaya naisip namin, oh, why don't we submit research proposal under this JSPS? Kasi ang requirement kasi ng JSPS program, yung collaborator mo ay Japanese. Yun. So, hindi siya natanggap doon. Pero, ang kagandahan lang is that DOST supported the resubmission of the proposal na hindi under that program. So, yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na gawin siyang parang regular project submission. So with the same group of collaborators, so we did minor revisions dun sa dating proposal, and then we submitted it to DOST again. And then yun, fortunately it was funded.
Ayun. So, thank you, ma'am, for that. Ayun. So, nabanggit niyo din kanina, meron tayong ibang concerns or challenges na kinaharap. So,
Mm.
aside dito sa funding issues, what
Mhm.
other challenges pa po yung na-experience niyo nung ginagawa niyo tong research na 'to?
Research-wise, siguro ang pinaka-challenging for us was the logistics. Kasi yung Mindanao Island kasi hindi siya gano'n, unlike Luzon or certain parts of Visayas, yung access ng mga researchers sa Mindanao Island medyo limited. I mean, researchers coming from outside Mindanao Island. So, yun yung I guess yung naging isa sa mga challenges doing the research, yung logistics, getting there, and then it's actually fortunate then and strategic that the Miss Claro, who was the student and researcher at that time, ay taga-Pagadian siya. So actually, that's one of the reasons then why nabudol siya to doing this research kasi taga-Pagadian siya. So it really helped, it greatly helped na taga-Pagadian siya. So hindi na masyado naging problema yung language, yung communication. Kasi while syempre pwede naman kayo mag-Tagalog, pwede naman kayong mag-English, iba pa rin pag may kasama kang kumbaga, may kasama kang lokal na researcher. Yeah, so naging helpful talaga na taga Pagadian City yung student ko. And then um however, so again logistics pa din, yung access sa mga sites was not uh, well, overall okay naman kasi nakapag-sample kami sa mga maraming sites. But there were a few instances na mahirap yung access sa site because of security issues. Yan. Uh, we were advised by the local government officials na itong area na to medyo hindi okay dyan. So wag na lang muna kayo mag-survey dyan or wag na lang muna kayo mag-fieldwork dyan. And then aside from the security issues, meron ding mga personal, like for example yung land ownership, 'di ba? Common naman 'yun sa common sa anywhere, but particular sa probinsya, 'di ba? Sino may-ari ng ganitong lupa? So minsan yung owner ayaw niya magpapasok kasi baka related to dun sa pag-claim nung land. Ayun. And then really remember this instance, napaka-challenging nito na kasi may mga equipment kaming dala kapag magfi-field work. And that time, iba yung flight nung equipment para naka-cargo, ano siya, cargo flight siya. And then, so, nandun na kami sa site. The weather was not so good. Yan. And then, limited lang yung flights kasi sa Pagadian City at that time. I'm not sure now kung how frequent the flights are. Pero, so, iyon. Every day, tatawag kami sa airport, dumating na po ba yung eroplano? Dumating na po ba yung eroplano? Nadala po ba yung gamit? So, nag-field work kami for for a few days na wala kaming gamit. Ayan. So it really caused problems then in terms of data gathering kasi nga naman wala kaming gamit. I mean, wala kaming pangkuha nung soil, wala kaming pangkuha nung samples. Pero ayun, naging challenging din 'yon kasi it's not easy to schedule din field work eh. So, yun. So parang yun, missed opportunity din yun. Yung hindi naging efficient yung fieldwork namin because of that instance.
Ayun. So, actually ma'am, ganyan talaga. Meron talaga tayong
Oo.
mga plano
Yes.
hindi nasusunod.
Right.
And since nag-share na rin naman kayo ma'am ng experiences, dire-diretso na natin. We're going to segue to the
Mhm.
good, the bad, and the ugly. Mga memorable experiences nyo ma'am in the field or while doing
Hmm.
the research in general.
Sa field yun, isa yun sa mga memorable na experience ko. I mean, yung parang three days kami na halos yun. Hindi naman sa wala kaming ginagawa, pero umuulan din kasi, tas wala kaming gamit. So, pag mag-field work kami, ito lang yung output namin. So, yan, yun yung sigurong memorable challenge. But in doing hazards work in general, hindi naman siya particular sa tsunami. Memorable yung mga kwento nung mga residents. Ayan, kasi yun yung mga hindi mo mag-Google search eh. Yun yung hindi mo
Opo.
makikita sa literature. So ayan, sa field namin ay kailangan talaga very important yung communication. Yan. Yes, it takes time din to collect this information, pero it's very important dun sa research. Ayan. Especially for this case na 1976, sa geological time scale, parang kahapon lang yan. It's very recent, relatively recent, yung 1976. So, memorable yung makakausap mo yung mga survivors ng tsunami, yung mga stories nila, yan, mga bata pa sila, na ganito yung itsura ng aftermath, ganito yung mga sounds na narinig nila. Kasi nangyari to madaling araw eh, almost midnight. So, kaya hindi for them, mahirap ding makalimutan yung experience. Especially, it's relatively fresh, 1970s. So, kaya nare-recall talaga nila ano yung nangyayari sa household nila when the earthquake was happening. And then, yun nga, yung sad memory of the aftermath. Kasi nga, um, yun, so many casualties. As I mentioned kanina, this is the most damaging tsunami to date since the 1900s. So there are unofficial and official reports na sinasabi 6,000 casualties, 7,000 casualties. Yung ibang mga reports, mas madami pa sa 7,000 casualties. So yun yung maraming memorable na mga non-research related So, well, kasi tulad 'di ba sa taga-Pagadian si Sheena. So, yung mga tipo ang kasama namin mag-fieldwork, mga tito niya, tapos, yung nagda-drive nung tricycle, nagda-drive nung van or nung sasakyan, tatay niya o kaya tito niya. Tapos so ano din nagka-establish din kami ng relationship with her relatives, with her parents, kasi nakitulog din kami sa bahay niya, yung mga gano'n.
Yun, very varied ang experiences niyo, ma'am, no?
Mm,
From the good na, I mean, meeting the family ng student ninyo to hearing the stories of the survivors. Hindi siya madaling makalimutan.
mhm.
And with that, okay, ma'am, tapos na yung fieldwork niyo. Nakuha niyo na yung data niyo.
Okey, mhm.
Ano nang nangyari after? At what point na, ay, okay, parang tapos na tong research na to or kumpleto na siya. Buo na yung story.
Mhm.
Kailan niyo na-realize yun, ma'am?
Okey, sige. So, 'di ba, so meron kaming 1 year to do the research. So,
Opo.
to be honest, in a year, meron kang makukuhang data, but yung confidence mo na, "Okey na kaya 'to?" Parang gano'n. So, I guess, mas mas nakapag-build kami ng story, mas naging confident kami sa hypothesis when we were able to take more samples.
Hmm.
So kasi, sabi ko nga, getting to Pagadian City is not so easy. I mean, schedule-wise, um, so yung isang fieldwork lang na meron kang datang dala-dala pa uwi ay, it felt na hindi hindi pa siya enough. So kailangan pa ng mga subsequent na fieldwork, and then that's actually the one of the motivation then why we really needed another source of funding, kasi hindi na kami makakabalik dun, eh, kasi tapos na yung project. So, well, yun nga, fortunately, we had the opportunity to go back, collect more samples. So, and then, ayan, so, siguro yung number one na paano namin nasabi, okay na to, i-publish. When we collected more samples, we analyzed more samples. And then, we also had, number two is that we did more systematic laboratory work. Systematic meaning gumamit ng other masasabi nating advanced na equipment, and this was made possible through our collaborators. So for example, for this paper, Sheena went to Singapore, and then she did the laboratory analysis dun sa aming colleague na nandun, si Dr. Switzer, who is also a co-author of the paper. Tapos, and then we also explored having an age. Yan. Kasi sa ganitong klase ng field na nag-i-interpret ka ng occurrence nung pangyayari, occurrence ng hazard, mas nagiging valuable siya, or mas, I guess, mas na-appreciate siya ng public if meron kang ilalagay na timing. I mean, gaano siya kadalas mangyari, isang beses lang ba siya nangyari, yung 1976 ba, nag-iisa lang siyang tsunami na nangyari sa history ng Pagadian City. So, yung next level na yon na, ay, sige, try natin na ipa-date. Yan. So, may tinatawag tayong radiometric dating na kukuha ka ng sample, it's an organic sample, pwede yung leaf or root or fragment of a mangrove, charcoal, yan. So, pwede mo yan pwede yan magbigay ng idea na gaano na kaya katanda itong sediment na to. So, I think when we had those data sets, and then after further analysis, discussions with collaborators, discussions among ourselves na okay na to. So I think given the resources that we have, and also the limitations that we have, I think this is worth publishing already. And then we just wait for the feedback of the international community, or the international reviewers, kasi sila yung magsasabi na okay na to. I mean, this is quality work na pwede mo na siyang i-publish.
Ayun. So, mahalaga din po talaga yung ano, yung kumbaga peer evaluation.
Yes, very
Na,
important.
kasi dun
And
ka
collaboration din, collaboration.
yun, opo. Kasi parang dun ka makakakuha ng sense na or assurance na tama yung ginagawa mo or
Mhm,
nasa right path ka in terms of your
mhm.
research. And ayun, as you said nga po, the collaborations that you have uh, created with this paper is what helped you finish it and make it complete in your kompleto na siya sa ano niyo, palagay
Right.
niyo. Parang ganun po.
Mm. So malaking bagay talaga yung collaborations, kasi I would say I am really not an expert on this work. But I can say na isa ako sa mga nag-dare na aralin ito sa Pilipinas. But this will not be I would say successfully implemented pag wala talagang guidance din from our collaborators. So I have colleagues in Japan na matagal na ang research experience nila with tsunami deposits. And then my other colleagues yan sa Singapore, sa Taiwan. So yung mga discussions na yon ay naka-guide din sa atin, sa ating mga local researchers, how we will do it sa sa atin naman. Our way of doing it. So malaking bagay, even dun sa idea ng pag-aaral ng tsunami deposits, the methods, anong approach, anong strategy, lahat 'yan ay nakakuha ako ng insights from colleagues 'yan by attending conferences. Nakikita mo, ganito nila ginagawa sa Japan, ganito nila ginagawa sa many parts of the world. So kaya-kaya 'tong gawin sa Pilipinas. So yung gano'n, yun yung patuloy na nagga-guide sa akin, nagga-guide sa amin, sa mga students ko, na how we conduct the research dito sa Pilipinas.
Yan, ma'am. So, thank you for dito, for helping Filipino scientists get recognized for work here in the Philippines. Kasi isa kayo, ma'am, sa nagtumutulong na study pa or pagyamanin pa yung knowledge natin sa
Mhm.
mga teritoryo natin. And with that, ano, ma'am, ang naging plans nyo or magiging future plans nyo pa moving forward with this kind of research or with this particular paper and everything connected to it?
Um, so talaga, super invested talaga ako sa coastal science, no, coastal geology, coastal hazards, earthquake hazards. So I think this will be a long-term commitment sa akin, and hopefully sa aking mga group of students din. So yung mga plans involve, again, finding opportunities, finding sources of funding para magko-continue lang. I mean, kahit na minor mga activities lang, ay ma-continue namin yung research on tsunami deposits. So I think after the Pagadian case study, so ang sinunod namin is yung Mindoro tsunami naman. So this was in 1994. And ongoing pa well, tapos na, pero yung student ko is working on that, si Mr. Ramirez, ay um, close to finishing his thesis on it. Kaya again, happy ako and proud ako na paunti-unti, at least na we build on the database of tsunami deposits in the country. I hope it's a long-term, it will be a long-term commitment. So the pressure is on me kasi kailangan makahanap ako ng funding. Kapag merong funding, syempre meron akong ma ma-involve na researchers, na students. Kasi without funding, it's really difficult to pursue this type of work. Kasi very labor intensive siya. Hindi ko siya kayang gawin mag-isa, to be honest. Kasi yung equipment pa lang, ayun. And then, yung analysis din na kailangan, requires a substantial amount of funding, especially yung radiometric dating, yung carbon-14 dating. Ayun. So, yun, yung plans. Continue lang yung pag-explore nung other sites naman that may have experienced tsunamis.
Ayun, ma'am. So, with your continued research, hopefully the database would expand. And I wish you all the best of luck, ma'am, and your students in the future. Sana dumami pa sila para marami pa yung tumingin ng mga ganitong sedimental deposits sa
Yes.
Pilipinas.
Thank you,
Ah,
thank you. I really hope dumami sila. Pero wag muna ngayon kasi marami akong estudyante ngayon. But I welcome itong mga students na or yung may interest sa ganitong mga fields. Yeah, mga hazards, coastal hazards.
ayan, ma'am. So, with that, what would be your advice to students or people or scientists that would like to do research on this field or any other connected field?
Mahirap to. Advice to aspiring researchers. Cliche pero really it's the curiosity that drives a researcher to push themselves further. Kasi I think karamihan sa atin ay aware sa challenges ng science research sa Pilipinas, no? There are so many challenges, but I'm sure these can be overcome. Yan. Pero yun, yun din yung napapansin ko sa mga graduate students ko that thrive dito sa academic environment, no? Kasi if hindi ka talaga interested sa ginagawa mo, if wala yun, yung hindi ka interested, wala kang initiative to learn more, to know more, then I guess it will be a difficult path kung yung research path, yung academic research na path. So kaya ang nagda-drive talaga sa even for myself, no, ang nagda-drive sa akin na bakit gusto ko pa rin mag-research kahit na mahirap, ganyan-ganyan, is really curious ka, ano kayang sagot dito? So, paano kaya mangyayari pag ganito, ganito? So, kung meron kang mga ganong endless questions, I think you will thrive dito sa isang research career. Ayun. So,
Yan.
stay curious. Ayan. Mahirap ma-measure ang passion pero
Opo.
oo, pero iyon. So yun, maging curious ka lang lagi kasi yun yung yun isang skill ng isang successful researcher. Hindi ka naubusan ng tanong, 'di
Yes,
ba?
yes, ma'am.
And then I mean, of course there are low points every time sa research sa path na yon. Pero sabi ko nga, lagi mo yung ma-overcome kasi lagi kang uhaw sa kasagutan, kumbaga. Ayan. So, it just drives you. to do more research.
Ayun, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am Jenny, for giving time. So, but before we let you go, before we end this podcast, do you have anything to promote, ma'am? Or any
Promote. So yung I have a movie coming out. De, joke lang.
papanoorin ko yan,
Kala,
ma'am.
kala mo artista, no? De, we have a series of talks dito sa NIGS, sa National Institute of Geological Sciences. Unfortunately, well, I think these are generally face-to-face, pero please stay tuned or please go visit the Facebook page of UPNIGS. Tapos may mga talks kami doon, and then this October we have our annual conference. It's an in-house conference. In-house siya pero um ano siya yung mga talks ay from varied institutions. So we hold the NIGS conference. We call it the NIGS Con. And then it's on October 17 and 18. So please visit the NIGS Facebook page or the website for more information. Pero yun, it's free. Registration is free. And then may konting snacks. So it has been very good space then for earth science enthusiasts. So even high school students yan, mga undergraduate students na may interest sa earth sciences, please remember yung NIGSCon on October 17 and 18. Yan. Yun lang naman yata ang ipopromote ko. So yes, thank you.
Ayun. So everyone listening and watching us, ayan, stay follow and like ang page ng UPD NIGS and IGS, and stay updated sa kanilang mga events na upcoming, especially yung NIGSCon. Kasi I heard na maraming magagandang research na nape-present doon.
Yes. So, magkaka-idea din kayo. Ano ba ang anong klaseng research ang ginagawa ng isang estudyante ng geology? Yeah. So, before I leave pala, please extend my thanks to hindi pa pala Dr. si Paul. Ayan,
Yes.
si Paul Flores. Soon to be Dr.
Soon to be Dr.
Paul.
Paul.
Soon to be Dr. si Doc Paul. And then the rest of the SciComm team of the College of Science. Thank you again for having me.
Ayan. Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving time. And to everyone, stay tuned for our next guest. And this has been BTS, Behind the Science. Magandang araw muli at hanggang sa susunod. Thank you again, Ma'am Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith.